Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. Welcome back. We're talking about The Eye.
We're singing it now?
Just that part.
Okay.
Well, you can sing as much as you want.
Nope, I'm good. Nobody wants to hear that.
Speaking of which, I know what I'm getting you for either your birthday or for Christmas.
Where did that come from?
I just have an idea about it.
Okay.
It just came to me.
Oh.
Like a prophetic dream.
Prophetic dream. Huh. Interesting.
Anyway, so this movie came out in 2008 and is a remake of a Chinese film of the same eye. The same eye? I can't. Why? Okay, see, I should have kept singing. I wouldn't have made the mistake.
You should have, yes. Agreed.
Yes, it was a remake of a Chinese film of the same name, but in Chinese.
A 2002 film by the Pang brothers, apparently.
And I would have watched the original as well, because we did that when we talked about The Grudge, but
yeah,
at the time of recording this, I was a broke bitch, and so this one was the only version that was free.
Did you find it where you could even purchase it? Was it out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was on Amazon.
Oh.
You could rent it. I am curious because some of the reviews specifically mention how it's just like another lame Hollywood remake of a really good Asian horror film. So it does make me curious.
Well, Asians do horror mostly a lot better than we do. They're terrifying. Terrifying, the things they do.
Yeah, They're good at it. And I think of like some of the most successful Hollywood horror films are Asian in origin anyway, whether it's video games or movies, because One Missed Call, that was a huge horror movie, originally an Asian film. The Grudge, huge one. The Ring,
oh yeah,
also a huge one. So yeah, this is another in the long list, and I think it's a good thing for there to be Hollywood adaptations like this, not because they're necessarily better, but it does kind of introduce the story to a wider range of audiences. And like me, I think a lot of people would be curious enough to seek out the original.
Yeah.
Unless they're super against watching a movie with subtitles or terrible dubbing. But
True.
I don't mind watching foreign films, though. I'm fine with subtitles. So let's get into it. First fun fact of this movie is the main character's name is Sydney. It's spelled the correct way.
It is.
So she is a very successful violinist who happens to be blind. And she became blind because of a childhood accident where she and her sister were playing with fireworks. Cringe.
Yeah.
Me and Becky were both curious about this movie because of the eye science, because we work for an eye doctor, and I was just curious to see, like, what they would say, like, if it was very hand-wavy or anything. They get away with all of that by not explaining anything.
Yeah, they don't explain anything. There's no eye science in this.
No, they're just, like...
Blind, cornea transplant, blind.
She can see now.
That's what they talk about. Yeah, it's just not. There's never... She has bandages on her eyes for like a day.
Yeah.
I always love medical science in movies. they do like a quadruple bypass. And when they go in the room to see him, when they get out of surgery, they just have an oxygen cannula on. I'm like, that's not what that looks like. I mean, I've been there. My dad had quadruple bypass surgery. I know all this. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how you look when that happens. But funny. Anyways. So no eye science.
Genuinely, though, the worst part of this movie is how stupid they seem to think blind people are. Genuinely, it's insulting and flabbergasting. Like, I know this movie came out in 2008, but like...
Well, still, in 2008, we shouldn't have been thinking that blind people were dumb. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no arguments from me there.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, this whole movie is ridiculous.
But, yeah, you know what? And this is the thing is, okay, I'll just say it. I don't think this is a good movie. I think it's a bad movie.
I agree. I didn't like it. In fact, it was very hard for me to watch. Like, I got distracted very easily. I was like, I don't care. Immediately. It wasn't very long, and I'm like, where am I? Talking to other people. I'm like, oh, that's a bad movie for me.
Yeah, the acting in general is really bad. Anna is a good actress. Whoever played Anna, I thought was a good actress, but everyone else is not good. And the main character is played by Jessica Alba, who is actually an actress professionally. You wouldn't know it through the performance here. And her seeing eye specialist is a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he fucking sucks. And yeah, so the plot of this movie is she gets her new eyeballs, and her vision's super blurry at first, but it starts clearing up day after day, and pretty soon she starts seeing really disturbing things. And that sounds great. It sounds really interesting and cool and scary, and it's just not.
No, it's not. And the thing is that I will go into eye science here. When you do lose vision, when there are certain diseases that cause you to lose vision, and I'm not a doctor, so, whatever. But your brain will fill in those gaps from your vision loss, and you can see scary things.
Uh-huh.
Like, that is a proven thing. We know it. We've seen it. Some people see people. Some people see animals. Some people see demons. Some people see... you can look it up. It can be quite terrifying for them. This was not.
Yeah, I really was surprised by, especially towards the end of this movie, I'm like, oh, this isn't really a horror movie. Or at least it doesn't succeed as a horror movie. It's more of a thriller.
Yeah. I guess they listed it as a psychological horror movie. Supernatural horror movie is what it's listed at.
Oh.
But I didn't get that. I wasn't scared. I mean, I wasn't even startled through this movie.
No.
So for me, it was just kind of blah. I was really looking forward to scary things. It makes me laugh when they're describing it. They're like, she was seeing terrifying visions. No. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be scared if I saw the same things, but it's just like, I don't know if it's Jessica Alba's acting. I don't know if it's the way that they, like, the cinematography or the way they write it or what. But again, it wasn't scary. It was more like a thriller. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff in this movie, like specifically, she starts to see the spirits of dead people, and she sees the entities that take them to the other side. Kind of like a Grim Reaper, but there's more than one. And
they are ugly.
Yeah,
they're kind of disturbing a little bit.
They're a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
But what it reminded me of, and this movie is very old. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. This movie is old compared to this movie, which this movie is also kind of old. It's almost 20 years old. The Frighteners. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah, forever ago. Mm-hmm.
That movie's scary. Even though the effects are bad and it's a little bit dated and stuff like that, there's scary shit, genuinely disturbing shit that happens in that film. And it's I think it's like, it kind of teeters on the edge of being a horror comedy at times, but it's really disturbing and, again, genuinely scary. And this movie kind of does something similar, but doesn't execute it as well.
Yeah.
So she gets it in her head that she wants to find out who her donor is, because she thinks that the spirit of the donor maybe is trying to tell her something. And so she talks to Paul, who's her seeing eye therapist, whatever. What is his actual fucking visual therapist? That's what he's called. I'm like, what is the job title that he has?
Yeah, so I used to know one of them.
So she goes to him and is like, I need to find out who the donor is. I need you to find out for me. And he's like, I can't do that. I could lose my medical license. So, like, that's true. But also, because of how everything works, I think it would have been actually impossible for him to find out who the fucking donor was.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, you're so worried about your license. Ooh, your license. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a big deal to lose your medical license. Yeah. Like, why are you...
Kind of a huge deal, yes.
It's not that I didn't empathize with her plight, but at the same time, she was also being kind of ridiculous.
Oh, 100% she was being ridiculous. Yeah, you don't... Yeah, and I think with the way... Yeah, impossible, because... I think with donors, and again, I don't know because I've never been through this, but I think it's sealed for at least a year or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the donor family wants, they can have it unsealed, and the person that receives the organ can find the donor if they want to. But I think it's the donor family that has to say yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure there would be no way to find it, but okay.
I mean, it's some plot armor, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you don't have a story, you don't have a movie to do.
Yes, we've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I thought the scene with the restaurant was actually really interesting. I did like that.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
So she goes into this restaurant, she's freaking out because she just witnessed a woman. Well, she didn't witness her get hit by a car. She, like, the ghost of this woman who did get hit by a car walked through her. And then she investigated and found that a girl had just been hit. And It was the woman that walked through her, the spirit. So she has, like, a mental breakdown, goes into this restaurant and calls Paul, gets his voicemail, and is like, I'm in this restaurant, like, on this street and this street, and I just need you. Please help me. I don't know why. Like, there's this very, like, thin, and I say this with skepticism, because Jessica Alba and whoever played Paul have no chemistry.
No, very true.
They had absolutely no chemistry at all. And there's, like, this very thin romantic subplot a little bit, which I think if they had scrapped that and just went for, like, platonic, it would have been fine. But it's clear that they wanted the audience to be like, yeah, root for this couple to get together.
Yeah.
Not to mention the dubious ethics of a visual therapist becoming romantically involved with a patient. But we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
He comes and gets her, but she's having her little mentee bee, and the kitchen explodes, and everyone's burning alive. And as soon as Paul runs into her, it's like the building's completely burned down, and she's fine and unharmed, and it's, like, obviously old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this restaurant burnt down, like, weeks ago, or, whatever. And she's like, no, I was just here.
Yeah.
Notably, when she's in the restaurant, nobody acknowledges her at all.
No. And you would think if someone's having a meltdown like that they're gonna
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say something. Are you okay? You know, can we help you? Something.
And it's not like the restaurant was super busy. Like, someone should have come over and asked her if she wanted a menu or, you know, whatever. So, but you don't kind of think about that until after the fact, which is why I think the scene is a well-executed scene. And I have a suspicion that was pulled directly from the Chinese film. I don't have proof of this, but because it was so interesting, I just have a healthy amount of skepticism for the fact that this was like an original idea that the Hollywood directors have. Maybe that's a little too harsh. I don't know. One day I will rent the original and maybe we'll talk about that one in the future. And I can apologize if I need to. Or feel vindicated. I don't know. So he does eventually agree. He's like, okay, I found the donor. We gotta drive to Mexico. I'm like, why?
And she's in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. It's like a 15-hour drive. Why on earth would you drive that? It was 2008. Plane tickets were cheap.
Maybe he didn't want to rent a car when he got there.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. Plot.
Yep. Well, you know, they had so much time to bond and talk on this 15-hour drive.
Yes. Well, and had they not been driving, they wouldn't have, you know, ended up where they end up.
Yes, exactly. So it's more plot reasons. So they go to the donor's house, and it's revealed that her name is Anna, and Anna's mother is still alive, but she's disfigured from a fire. And Anna's mother is really uninterested in talking to them at first, but Sydney's like, no, you know, you have to listen to me. I know what Anna went through. Like, I know what happened.
Yeah.
And Anna's mom is like, okay, so you can tell when someone's gonna die. And she's like, yeah. Because,
and of course, then she started to cry. You guys see her eyes. You have her eyes. That's really not how it works either. Like,
also,
corneas are not going to be, you're going to look at someone's eyes and be like, you have my son's eyes. That's not, no.
I mean, maybe. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Well, also, I think, and it's interesting that they decided to portray that as like a touching moment. For me, I think I would be really disturbed. Like, not that I would be ever against my loved one's body parts being donated or whatever, if that was what they wished.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that. But if it was something physical that I could see, I think it would creep me out. Because it's one thing to kind of know abstractly, like, oh, this person got my dad's heart when he died. Mm-hmm. You know, it's inside them. You can't see it. You're just like, okay, I kind of know. But, like, you know, it's more abstract than anything. Versus if eyeball transplants worked like they said they worked. Like, I would not want to see my mom's eyes in a stranger. That would disturb me.
Yeah, if they were the actual eyes.
Yeah.
The cornea is different, so.
Right.
But I don't know. You know, like I see those like videos where people like get their loved one's heart and then they listen to it, and I think that would just put me to the ground. I just don't think. I don't know. Maybe, but
ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot of emotional weight.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's good to hear the heart, right? But it's not.
But your person that heart kept alive is not that person.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I think this could have been a really cool film if it had been executed properly, but.
Well, that was the other scene that I liked is, so Sydney, when she leaves the hospital, she gets her picture taken with another patient, a little girl who's in the cancer ward. And when her eyes are working and she can see without it being really blurry, they show her the picture like, oh yeah, we got this from, so-and-so's mom or a nurse or whatever. And Sydney's like, this isn't me. And then she goes and looks in the mirror and she sees Anna, not what she actually looks like. And I thought that was really interesting.
That was interesting, yeah.
And that was a creepy scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree there.
It's about as creepy as that movie gets, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, unfortunately.
So back at Anna's house and with Anna's mother, she talks about how Anna tried to warn this warehouse that people were working in that something was going to happen. And they dismissed her because she was widely regarded as a witch. Because, I mean, you can imagine. You see... You have this creepy girl who gets really upset and knows when someone's going to die, and then they die. They thought she was a witch. Mm-hmm. So when the warehouse exploded and all those people died, people got really nasty with her, and Anna was filled with grief that she wasn't able to prevent it from happening, and she ended up killing herself.
Yeah.
She hung herself. Oh, my mom would beat me over the head. She hanged herself. At this point, Anna's mom has a heart attack, and Sydney sees the spirit thing hanging around and tries to warn her, but it's too late, and Paul and her nurse, I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I don't know who it was either.
But they drive her to the hospital.
Yeah.
So Sydney's...
Because they're out in the middle of nowhere in Mexico.
Yeah. So Sydney's left alone. She decides to stay.
Which I found weird.
It was
I'm
weird.
like, you wouldn't go? You would just hang out there at these people's house that you don't know in the middle of Mexico by yourself? That's weird.
Also, I wouldn't... Like, if I was Anna's mom and also the man that was there, I wouldn't want a stranger to stay in my house.
Me either.
Even
you need to go.
I mean, even with the understanding, like, oh, this girl seems nice. She got my daughter's eyes donated. And she's suffering the same affliction of seeing portents of death. That doesn't automatically mean, oh, I trust you with my things.
Yeah.
You can hang out in my house while I die.
Yeah, no.
So she starts hearing something, and she snoops around the house and finds the cellar. And she goes down into the cellar, and she finds Anna's ghost, like, having to reenact her death over and over again. Which, there's a word for that. My mom used to watch Ghost Hunters all the time. I'm trying to remember what they called ghosts that did that. Like, they did the routine
Stuck in
thing.
that loop?
Yeah, I can't remember. If you guys know, you should comment and tell us what it is. So, Sydney does try to save her, but, I mean, she succeeds, but, like, obviously it's too late, right? But she, I guess, forgives Anna?
Which I don't understand that either. Forgives her. How does she have anything to do with the forgiving?
Yeah, if anybody, it should be like the little boy that they mentioned whose brother got killed.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Even Anna's mother, maybe.
But maybe her just hearing, you're forgiven was what was needed. Yeah. I don't know. Because she blamed herself so much that she just needed someone to say, you're forgiven. Nobody blames you. I mean, even if the people did, it wasn't her fault. She tried to save them all.
Yeah.
But again, when people are different, and I'm telling you though, if I'm ever in a place and someone comes up and says we have to get out of here, something bad is going to happen, I'm getting out of there. I don't care how weird the person is.
It's the final destination question
I'm
again.
just gone. I'm gone. I'm out. If death chases me down, it can chase me later, but...
So... While I have this in my thought, this is kind of a weird tangent, but you remember that viral video of that woman in the airplane and she's like, that motherfucker is not real?
Yeah.
What do you think she saw?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think, because I mean, at first when I watched the video, I'm like, oh no, she's having a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
But the longer I sat on it and the longer I thought about it, and the fact that this woman's life was kind of ruined by the whole thing and, you know, all that. And then also just, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Nothing happened on that flight that we know of.
Yeah.
I guess they could have covered it up.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, back to the movie. So you think, oh, this is like a normal place for a movie to end. I mean, it's kind of a little anticlimactic, but...
Yeah.
You know. Well, they're trying to get out of Mexico.
Yeah, Paul comes back and tells her that the mom had died.
Yeah. And Sydney's just like, oh.
Yeah.
It was very...
Bummer.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know, again, I don't know if it's directing or, like, how it was written or what, but it was very...
Yeah, because Anna goes away now. Like,
yeah.
she goes away because she was...
at peace.
At peace because she was forgiven. Mm-hmm. So she's like, oh, it's over, right? Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get out of Mexico, and there's a traffic jam, probably at the border.
Yes, it is at the border.
You know, trying to get through customs.
Someone on the state side of the border there's a police chase or something, so they have it blocked off.
Well, I can tell you that I have friends that have accidentally driven over the border into Mexico, and they have sat for hours and hours and hours trying to get back in.
Okay.
In a line.
Well,
so it happens frequently there.
I feel like it's really hard to accidentally end up in another
accidentally
country.
On purpose. Did you mean? She knows who she is. Accidentally on purpose, and then they shopped all the way through the line, all the way back through border to, because they have vendors that stand there and sell to the cars that are waiting in the line. This is how this is all the time.
Oh, interesting.
And so she got some decorations for the house, and they got some fruit.
Oh my God.
They went to California and ended up in Mexico.
Okay. The more you know.
I think that's twice now they've done it, but whatever.
Accidentally on purpose.
Accidentally on purpose.
So yeah, they're waiting in line. She's trying to like sleep through it, but she wakes up as soon as they stop, and she's like, where are we? And he's like, yeah, well, you're not even out of Mexico yet. So she slept for what, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So, well, but then she sees the spooky dudes, and they're all flocking around all the cars, and so she realizes like something bad's gonna happen. So she gets out of the car, and she starts scaring the shit out of this little girl in the RV.
Yeah, she recognizes the little girl from her visions.
From a vision, yep. And it's her like burning alive, like she can't get out of the RV, which is very terrible. Okay, so you are told as the audience that, oh, something really bad is going to happen. There's going to be like a big accident. People are going to die. Like, so.
There's a big tanker truck, like 3 or 4 cars ahead, waiting in the line too.
So to his credit, Paul seems to finally believe her.
Yeah.
Because I think even though he volunteered to take her to Mexico, he didn't believe her. And I don't necessarily think he really believed her until Anna's mother died.
Yeah.
So he starts helping her, trying to get people to evacuate. I think they say that there's like a bomb in one of the cars or something.
Yeah, I think that's what they were telling him. And they're running around crazy. Get out of your cars. You got to get out now.
Yeah, and the little girl is trapped. She's, like, locked in somehow.
Yeah.
Which, where the fuck were her parents?
The mom was there. Something happened to the mom. I forget. She was outside or something. Yeah, she was outside, I think, talking on the phone or something. And she couldn't get the door open. So she started screaming, I can't get her out. I can't get her out. And so they said, you need to go. We'll get her. And the little girl was screaming because she couldn't get out.
Yeah. Paul ends up breaking the window to get her out.
Yeah.
But there's, like, this big car that, like, smashes through.
It was the car that was being chased.
Yeah.
Comes through the border and hits the tanker.
Yeah, because of course. And so it explodes. And you watch in slow motion as, like, glass explodes into Sydney's eyeballs.
Yeah. That bothered me, just because the eyeball.
Yeah, that was...
Because the glass shard went right into her pupil.
Yeah. So, you know, Sydney had talked before about how the little entities that escort the dead or whatever, they don't like that they're being perceived. And so, when this happens, I was like, oh, they did that on purpose to make it to where she couldn't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Because she saved a bunch of people, right?
She did.
And obviously that's not
what death wants.
What they want, question mark? Which, that doesn't make sense to me either. I don't like it when movies make... Because Final Destination does it too a little bit. I don't like it when movies make death an antagonist. I feel like death should always be like a very neutral entity because it's necessary. Or like not that it's necessary, it's more like an absolute. Like it's going to happen eventually. And sometimes, you know, it happens sooner than we want, but I don't know. It's just I think
that's dealing with the very real fear of death, though, that death is... It's coming for you, like it's chasing you down, which I mean, at some point, yeah. But I think that's the whole thing, is to try and feed into that fear of dying. So what makes it more scary, that you're just going to die or it's coming for you?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I do think death is dumb, but, you know, it's part of life, so there you go.
The irony.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But it's like, me and Paul at work were talking about how, like, eventually humans could be essentially immortal if we could figure out how to put human consciousness into a robot. Like, as long as, like, the robot doesn't degrade or whatever, you can just be alive forever. And I'm like, but doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of, like...
living?
Enjoying life? Yeah, like, part of what makes life worth living is that it's fleeting.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. It's just, maybe life should be a little longer.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, I think it's great that we've made all these strides and now the average, like, life expectancy is longer. Like, that's good. I like that. It's just, you know, living forever doesn't really appeal to me.
No, I mean, if you watch all the vampire movies and this and that, they're always depressed because they live forever.
Yeah.
And
they get bored.
They get bored because they've done it all. They've seen it all. They've, you know.
Like, literally, when we talked about the Queen of the Damned, he literally took, like, a 200-year nap because he was sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Or you get the Twilight kids who have gone through high school 750,000 times.
I don't know why anyone would do that.
I know.
Insanity.
Because they have to blend in.
Yeah, well, just say you graduated early.
Living forever, maybe not. But longer, yes. Yeah. I'm very, you know, I'm 53, so I'm definitely looking at how much time do I really have left, and it goes so quickly.
No, and I get that. I mean, I went through a whole, like, depressive period when I was first diagnosed because I learned that my life expectancy got shaved down by, like, 5 years. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, no, it is.
when you get diagnosed with something and all of a sudden, boom, life expectancy, 5 years less.
Yeah, and it's really stupid. It's not anything you could control or you could have prevented or you could have anything. So that's just... So again, there's like a death chasing you. I don't know why I just did this, like a dog chasing you.
Yeah, did like, it was good. This is why we need a
video camera. Yeah.
So, yeah, she doesn't die or anything, Sydney. But she loses her eyesight again. But it's okay because she was shown that she doesn't need to see.
Yep. So she goes right back to playing her little violin.
Yeah.
And life is good.
Yes.
The end.
So going back to blind people are stupid. Her and Paul at one point in this movie are walking through town, and they go through like a farmer's market or whatever, and this person is selling a pineapple, and Paul is like, "That's a pineapple. You cut it open." Like, she doesn't know what a fucking pineapple is. I understand that you may not know what a pineapple looks like, but she knows what a fucking pineapple is.
Well, you would think at her age, yeah.
Well, and she's like, "I like pineapple." You know, and it's like a stupid moment. I mean, it's a little bit stupid on purpose. It obviously feels very awkward that he said it. Like, "Oh, it's a pineapple. You cut it open." And yeah, no shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think sometimes, though, so, like, she wasn't able to see for many, many, many years. So, I don't know if he was maybe trying to help her understand, like, the visual going to her brain. Because they say, like, people that get cochlear implants that are deaf, sounds can be so overwhelming because now they can hear, but their brain cannot process it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if that's what he thought he was doing with telling her that.
Yeah.
But... yeah, there's other ways to...
Yeah. It's just, this movie wasn't well executed in any way, shape, or form.
No.
There were two cool scenes. The one with the mirror and the one with the restaurant. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Not scary.
No.
Kind of boring. Sorry.
It was.
It was a thumbs down for me.
Yeah, it was a thumbs down. You know what was worse than this movie, though? Frankenhooker.
Well, I guess if I saw a Frankenhooker, I just would not go into it with high expectations of any form.
Listen. It's not that I had high expectations. It's that I thought that it would be one of those movies that's so bad it's good. And I was wrong. I was mad at the end of that movie.
Yeah. Time that you'll never get back.
Yeah, truly. It was we were between two movies. It was that movie, and then it was like an actual, like, oh yeah, this movie's actually good. It was with Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. I can't remember the name of it. Like 3,000 Years of Longing or something like that. And I'm like, I don't really want to watch something serious. So kind of it's my own fault.
Frankenhooker.
In more than one way, because the other movie was like almost 2.5 hours long, and then this one was an hour and a half. Frankenhooker, I mean, and wow.
Well, thank God it was only an hour and a half.
Oh my God, we got to halfway through this movie, and James is like, it has to be almost over, right? We were both like, please. Spoiler, it wasn't. All right. So, we went on a couple of tangents. You know what, though? Speaking of the Twilight vampires, it makes me want to talk about Twilight because there's some, like, really horrifying shit that happens and is implied in those books and movies. More so the books than the movies, but...
It's been a long time since I've read the books. I read them all when they first came out. Like, one after the other.
Yeah, I read Twilight so many times. Oh my God. I was obsessed with it.
Oh, I pretty much loved those books too. I was like, oh, they sucked me right in.
Yeah.
We can do that. I'll have to reread them though.
Yeah, that'll be more of like a time-consuming thing because there are four? Technically, there's 5, and then there's a novella.
I'm gonna have to see if I still have them. Holy Hannah, I had them all. I bought them, yes, I did.
I did too. And then I ended up giving them all to my mom because she ended up liking them better than me. I grew out of them.
Yeah.
You know, but she liked them, so I gave them to her for Christmas one year.
Nice.
And I'm assuming my dad still has them. I don't know.
Can never tell.
Yeah. Again, that's one of those where it's like, okay, is Twilight horror? Technically, absolutely not. It's absolutely not. Like, it's just vapid teen romance.
Yeah, for sure.
But the science of Stephenie Meyer's vampires is horrifying. So I think it would be worth a little mini series to do those.
Yeah.
And we can kind of compare and contrast the movies and the books too if we want. So that'll be something in the future. next week we are going to be releasing an episode on The Troop. So look out for that. It's a wonderful book.
So great.
So fun by Nick Cutter.
Oh, it's fun?
Yes.
Fun. That's an interesting choice.
Fun for all. I mean, it's some Boy Scouts on an island. It's fun.
How can it go wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
So bad. Anyway, we'll talk about that next week. The end of June, we will be doing Frankenfest in Port Huron.
Yes.
And we will be discussing another podcast, which we have discussed here on our podcast. So we will be talking about doing a presentation on Mall Walk.
Mall Walk, yeah. So if you're in the Port Huron area towards the end of June, you should come and see us speak.
It's a nice area.
Yeah, it's
got
cool.
the lighthouse. It's beautiful right on the lake. Hopefully we'll have good weather.
We will. We shall manifest.
Yes. And then in September, down to Frankenfest in Detroit.
And we'll be talking about Frankenfest. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein at Frankenfest.
Yes.
So those are the two things that we're doing this year. We may run down to the Oddities Festival at Crossroads just to visit. We don't know for sure if we're doing that yet, because it's the weekend before Frankenfest. So
yeah, we do have actually a lot going on. So we're gonna try to visit, but we won't be vendors or presenters there this year. So yeah, that's what our plans are, and we're excited to share them with you all. If you are in any way squeamish, don't listen to the Troop episode.
No.
And we'll probably do a trigger warning before that episode too, like the opening, because I don't know how many people listen all the way to the end of our episode. So, yeah, if you are squeamish, if you have issues with bugs or blood or gross things, just give it a kiss. Kiss? Why am I like this? What the fuck is wrong with me?
Give it a kiss. And once you know what the book's about, you're not going to want to kiss any of that. Thanks, Sydney.
Give it a miss is what I was trying to say. What is wrong with me? Oh my god. Okay. Today the pod, tomorrow the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.